Now I pull up on the scene, dead fresh and casket clean. They gon' hate on me, yeah. Gon' hate on me. When I pull up on the scene, dead fresh and casket clean. They gon' hate on me, yeah. Gon' hate on me, yeah. Pull up on the scene, dead fresh and casket clean. They gon' hate on me, yeah. Gon' hate on me.
Yes. Glad to have you back around. I'm Kay. We got Deem in the building, and this is the Biscayne Breakdown. How you doing, Deem? People ain't seen you in a minute, man. How you been?
I'm good. A lot been happening. Positive things, but I'm good.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I understand, man. Life happens like that sometime. Long as you here, that mean we know you all right though. And while we got you, we might as well talk a little bit of Miami Heat ball. Let's get right into it. When you look at the Miami Heat, in their last 3 games, a big win over the Lakers, who's struggling, might I add. A good win over the Phoenix Suns, even though they don't have Kevin Durant. And you look at a good win over the Cavs, even though Mobley went down after the first half, couldn't come back in from an ankle sprain that he tweaked and continued to play through in the first half of that game. So apparently we got Alex finna join us too, but we're gonna keep it going right ahead and just get him in as things happen. But when you look at this 3-game stretch, Deem, I guess you could take it game by game, or you could just do overarching point, or you could hit the bullets that you want to hit. What have you seen from the Miami Heat specifically in their last 3 games? Again, I would say 3 quality wins, even though the Lakers are struggling. The manner in which that win happened makes that a quality win for me, because it's something different than what you used to seeing from the Miami Heat from the perspective of being able to just blow the doors off of a team. So what stands out to you the most from these last 3 Miami Heat wins, Dean?
The offense. And I've been a big criticized in the group chat about how I think terrible this offense has been playing. But these last 3 games, the offense has been firing. And I didn't watch the Phoenix game Saturday night. I was locked into college football, so I didn't really watch that game at all. I seen the stats, and Tyler was on one. I mean, like he's been hooping. Like, it's safe to say that this year Tyler Hero has been undoubtedly the best player on the team. Like, he's just been the best player on the team. I think these 3 wins, I think he played a big part on all 3 of these wins. I think a lot of these wins, it came on Tyler's shoulders. And I know that, I don't remember if it was you or Kev who mentioned about the lineup that we've been, this new lineup we've been rolling out. Yo, it's been tremendous. Like, the lineup has actually been pretty effective. And it hasn't, in previous years, I would, like last year, I wouldn't have liked this lineup, but this year it has been pretty effective. And I said this in the group chat. I don't think this is Spo best year. I think this is probably Spo, one of his worst years coaching. But I think now he's kind of figuring it out, like his go-to lineup. And I know a lot of guys are going to be upset that certain people isn't playing or isn't getting the enough playing time that we want them to have. But so far in these 5 games, Spo has been hitting it on the head.
I mean, I would agree with you there, but I think for me, if you look at it, and to your point, this isn't like a flat out refute or like refuting your take on Spo and how he's been doing this year, but like, even through the first 15 games or so, like kind of how I was at that point of like just begging guys to like give it a chance. Like, we see some things in my mind, I could see some things that were different because the final product didn't look the way people wanted to look, I guess. And this isn't you or anybody else in the group. I'm just saying the general public. It felt like they didn't acknowledge that there were some different things happening with this Miami Heat team from an offensive perspective. And I had, noted how like nobody ever stops moving. If you look at the Heat offense now in past years where at the end of a shot clock, they might have got caught flat-footed, it was because nobody was moving. The offense itself was stagnant. So, of course, the player was going to be stagnant flat-foot. Whereas they still find themselves maybe getting down to the end of the shot clock now, but they always get off a decent look. It might not be like the highest of quality, but at least they're getting off looks now in those situations. So to that point, I think that Spo is going to take the blunt of the blame because, he's the head coach and we're looking at him to make sure that it all comes together, make sure that it looks fluid. But if you're instituting something different or something new, I think that you also have to be fair. Again, not you or I'm just speaking, but just a general public. I think we also have to be fair about the fact that it just took some time for what they were trying to do to come together. And just by like all accounts, especially Spo, and he said this as recent as I want to say Saturday, this isn't it. It's just like this is just the beginning of the change. It's just we're just starting to see something click. And like even if you look at Bam, and he said this like a week ago, looking at Bam as the hub, that wasn't the end game either. Like, and the reason that it seemed as though it was something that was an adjustment that started to happen like game 10, game 12 is because in this process of transitioning to a more motion-based offense, it had to happen in stages. And I understand it. I'm not saying he's all the way right, and I'm not saying it's going to continue to progress through the roof or whatever. But what I'm saying is if you're telling me that this evolution has happened piece by piece because you have to make sure that they understood this or were capable of this before you can get to this, then that kind of makes sense. I touched on Bam a little bit. What are you seeing from Bam in these last couple of games? If you are seeing anything that's making you feel better about it, or are you
he's playing way better than he was in the beginning of the season. I mean, I got high like expectations for Bam because I think Bam is really a great player. I think he could be a Hall of Famer. I think he honestly should be an All NBA player, but so far, I mean, he hasn't really lived up to the All NBA player status yet. But I think I hold Bam to a higher standard. I think he's the third best center in the NBA. So my expectations and my standard for Bam, I think is higher than probably a 85% of the Heat fans out there. So I'm always a little hard on Bam, but that's because I think he's a great player. But he has been playing better these last 3 games, especially against that Phoenix game. I think it was. I didn't watch the game, so I don't.
Mhm.
I just checked the box score. Like I said, I didn't see the game, but I seen his numbers against Phoenix. It was pretty good, and I'm pretty sure he was effectively on both sides of the ball. But I think in the beginning of the year, I think I don't know what he was seeing or what he was trying to do, or if it was different things Spo or whatever was trying to do for him, but it just wasn't working. And so far, especially in that Phoenix, that Phoenix game, that what was that? Who they played before Phoenix? It was Lakers,
The
right?
Lakers.
That Lakers. I mean, he just looked at much better. And sometimes the numbers don't show what Bam does. But in the beginning of the season, it was just like, yo, I never seen him play that bad. Even in his, the early stages in his career, like his second year, it was like, he was just trying to find himself. But I never seen Bam play this bad, and I don't even think he was effective on the defensive side in the beginning of the year. How he's been in the past, so I just think I don't know what it is and what got into Bam, but he was bad in the beginning of the year. But these past 3 games, he's playing much better.
Yeah, I mean, for me, you're right. I agree with you. The defense wasn't good to begin. It wasn't great to begin the year either, but the offense was putrid. Missing layups, of course, missing the little bunnies, the mid range that we become so accustomed to seeing them make. But that's just it, man. For me, the touch has come back in the last 3 games. You've seen him, of course, finish at the rim, but you've seen him finish in the middle too. And that's kind of reflective of this whole Miami Heat team as George gets himself situated. That's kind of reflective of his whole Miami Heat team. As you know, it's hard to judge them, one, of course, when Jimmy Butler isn't playing. And of course, that's a major thing. We need him to be on the floor. And I'm just speaking to make a point here. But it's also hard to judge this Miami Heat team when Bam Adebayo is just absolute garbage. And we know he isn't garbage. But it's like if you can't make a layup, if you're missing, 8-foot floaters that we've seen you make time and time again in your sleep, then we know that isn't you. And for me, I had to be real and acknowledge that yes, he's struggling like a mother, but
Lakers
I can't.
game though, that was a big game though. I
What was
think
that?
the Lakers game. I
Oh,
think that was
absolutely.
the best game of the season.
But right, and that's what I'm saying. Like if you look at these last 3 games where he hasn't struggled, I think this is and of course we're gonna say that because the Heat have won, but I think it's a more fair
But
read.
even I think my fault to cut you up, bro.
No,
But
you
even
good.
if they didn't win, like say if they would have lost by 5 or whatever, that
Right,
was still
right.
a great game from him. And then forget the numbers. Like that was just it was a great all around game from. This was the game
Absolutely.
that Heat fans are accustomed to seeing.
it's not about, I wouldn't say it's not about the raw numbers. Like, I'm not saying I need to see 20, 25 every night. What I'm saying is the shots that you get, the shots you're supposed to take and make, and the opportunities that you're supposed to take and make them, I think you need to do that, because like what happens is, okay, when you missing bunnies, it immediately creates a run out because you're doing that little half-second hand slap pout thing, and you also focus on the shot you just missed. So now the defense, you are best defender, but everybody now, the whole other team and back there, they just scored. But if you're making that shot, okay, that allow your team to get back and set up defense. I think it's all fluid, and one thing is an individual than the other. But like you said, whether they had won or lost, I think that we're able to judge them more appropriately now because Bam is at least playing somewhat to his standards. To pose the question to you, George, not to keep you lost in the sauce, we were just talking about the Miami Heat's last three wins, games against the Lakers. Of course, it's the Lakers who are struggling, but the Miami Heat blew the doors off them, so that made it kind of impressive. They did beat the Suns without Kevin Durant, as mentioned, and of course they beat the Cavs, who without Evan Mobley in the second half, but still an impressive win nonetheless, as they were able to hold Spider to, I think, 12 points or something like that, which is pretty impressive. What do you got on the Heat's last three wins? If anything of note stand out from those last three wins to you?
First things first, I'm home. To the show I started on, Biscayne Breakdown. We're so back, baby. I know Joel hates me swearing. I couldn't care less.
Yeah, he's going to put the curse ban up.
I am back. But you know what's not back?
Round of applause for George, man.
I'll applause myself. Thank you very much. Thank you. Listen, I have not lost sight of the goal. And the goal to me, and the goal in my head is long-term sustainability. Now, I have been entertained, and so should you people. Everyone should be entertained by the last three games. And I have loved the way the starting unit has looked. I actually like what Drew Smith has done. What Drew Smith has done on both ends of the floor in the last few games. I think he's been a really solid defensive piece. I think we could have used him.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Not too much on that.
We could have used him last year the way he was playing this year. We had Jamari Boo. Yeah, we didn't get him in, but we gave the keys to Drew Smith playing 29 minutes a game, which is killing me in the inside.
Again, now, not too much on him. We're gonna get there.
Fine. The actual outlook on the last three games is that I think we've looked a lot more comfortable in the fact that we're actually running with the starting unit. We're going to be running in the postseason no matter what. I really doubt they make a move for another 4. I think Highsmith has been not good on both sides of the floor. Not good. It's in the last. No, I'm telling you, I've been watching. He has been getting.
You're smoking crack, George.
Blown by. He has not been playing the way
he's consistently guarding the best player on the opposing team. Like, I mean, okay.
He isn't the Hayward Highsmith of last year, is what I'm saying. He's not the Hayward Highsmith of last year.
He's better.
No, he's not. Not to me. He was shooting last year.
George, I wish I could mute your mic.
But you can't. And that's why I'm here. I really, really, really want a floor spacing 4. I think we need this so much more than we think. I would have loved to get PJ Washington last year in that Terry Rozier deal. I feel like that would have been something
all right,
special.
George. We're gonna get there. Give us your. I'm interested. Before we obliterate this Hayward Highsmith garbage, I'm interested in hearing more about your thoughts on where you said you're still interested in long-term sustainability, because we're not gonna turn this into an hour-long show. We're supposed to get in and get out until Joel created the chaos.
I have just gotten in the building. We are
right, but until Joel created the chaos of sending George the link.
Yo, we can go an hour, man.
What is the man, bro?
I've been waiting for y'all to get together, man.
So, like, when you say the long-term sustainability, what do you mean by that?
Are you really ready?
Yeah.
Do you really want to know? Do you actually want to know?
This is gonna blow man.
We have made mistakes in this franchise. Let me get the mic ready. We have made so many mistakes in this franchise. Extending Duncan with that 5-year horse deal. We're not going to say anything else. Beep deal. We have lost Struess. We have lost Caleb Martin. We have lost all of these players for nothing. We lost Kendrick Nunn for nothing. We lost Gabe Vincent for nothing because we wouldn't trade them when they needed to be traded. This is Tyler Hero's best season, and he is 24 years old. Come back, Deem. Listen. It's okay. I know it hurts. Do we honestly think that he is the future of this franchise with the way he's been playing now? He is not averaging 33 points a game. He's not playing like Luka. He's not a franchise cornerstone. At his peak power now, he is worth minimum 2 firsts and a second with a good player coming back to us.
So, George, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this. Do you like basketball or do you like basketball transactions?
Oh, I love both.
It feels like you love transactions more than you like the game of basketball.
I like winning. I
understand, but what you're saying makes no sense because, like, Tyler Hero,
he has been the best player on the team this year.
Right, he's been the best player on the team.
And everybody know I'm not a Tyler Hero.
I agree with you. You're not wrong.
He's doing everything Heat fans wanted him to do the past 3 years. He's doing it this year.
He's not doing what I
the
wanted to do.
playoffs yet. We still waiting
what I
to see
wanted
him
to
to
do.
up in the playoffs. But everything Heat fans wanted him to do the past 3 years, he's doing. And now we want to trade him.
I want him to pack it all up and move to San Francisco. That's what I want. Okay.
For who?
Kuminga and two firsts.
Okay, we're not doing this on this show.
Give me Kuminga and a first. Give me Moses Moody and 2 firsts.
We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
Yeah,
Alex, what's up, man?
Listen. Whoa. Okay,
we're not doing this.
Oh, we're doing it.
If y'all think we're going to trade Tyler Hero for Kuminga, what is Kuminga going to bring to this team? Besides, honestly,
first round picks that get attached with him and his contract to come here.
We don't want that first round pick.
I want Andrew Wiggins and picks to make the money work. That's what I want.
Even worse.
I know, but we get picks. We get assets. We get our future back. We have mortgaged our future for this terrible build. And just because we won 3 games does not mean we should stray away from the
I'm gonna nail him on
that.
Please.
On this terrible bill, what does that mean? What does terrible bill mean? Like, when did a team that has been to multiple NBA finals and consistently landed in the conference finals, when is that a bad build?
It's a bad build when we don't change the bones and we don't add anything onto those bones in 5 years. It was a great build for the 2020 finals. It was not a great build at all against Denver. We got very lucky. We got very, very lucky because Jimmy Butler decided to be the best player in the world again. Isn't
that what your one's supposed to do? Mention the fact that in a bubble, the second and the third best guy who at that year was Bam and Goran were both banged up. Mention the fact that when they lost to Denver, Jimmy Butler was also banged up. But they were playing the guy who has since probably become the best player in the world. Okay. Did you also fail to mention that? Yeah, Joker's probably the best player in the world, but that's a different part.
He is. He's absolutely filthy.
I mean, I just didn't like the way Alex was looking at me like that.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I'm watching the game for the team.
Cool. I was just like, nah, Joker probably the best player in the world. Okay.
I saw that too, and I was like, wait, who?
Go ahead. My bad.
No, you good, brother. You good.
I saw you shaking your head, and I was just like, wait.
So it's like, how is that a bad build, though, George? Explain to me how this is a bad build.
I've already given my answer, and I will reiterate. It wasn't a bad build 5 years ago.
Because they haven't added the way you want to, this is a bad build.
The way I want to, the way that the way that the team deserves to grow. You cannot. Okay, you know those movies when the guy's running and his leg gets caught in a bear trap, right? It's you cut the leg off so you can get away. This is what this is. The last 3 games. I can't make and the last 3 games specifically are the bear trap. They corner you in. They like, oh my God, Tyler Hero's averaging 27 and 5 on 56% shooting. Look at that. That's the bear trap. They get you caught. And then when he goes down, because he is injury prone, he is also prone to having bad stretches of the season where we will start to believe in Tyler and that will fall off. That hasn't changed my mind. It will only change my mind is if he finishes out the season the way he's going now. Because Luka doesn't have 2 bad weeks. Devin Booker doesn't have 2 bad weeks. None of these guards have 2 bad weeks.
Bro, he's not.
We just saw Donovan Mitchell's
Luka
worst
or
game of the
Devin
season.
Booker, though. We know Tyler's not Luka or Devin Booker, though. So I mean, we're not going to put him in the same name as those 2 guys.
Exactly right, because you wouldn't trade Devin Booker and you wouldn't trade Luka Doncic, but I would definitely trade Tyler Hero the way he is right now. You can get something for the height of his power. You can get cap relief back. You can get your draft picks back. Wouldn't you want to make sure that the future becomes
Andrew Wiggins, though? Like, I mean,
to make the money work. That's not a win now move.
Nah, that's not a smart move.
You training for an expiring contract.
That'll set the franchise back.
It shoots them back to bring them right back forward.
Can somebody hold up? Can somebody explain to me what all is going on? Just one person. Tell me what's going on so I can interject a little bit. That's what I want to know.
I'm miffed. I asked him about the last 3 games.
I'll tell you. I'm saying right now, Tyler Hero, the way
mute
he's
George,
playing,
Joe. Mute George. Mute George.
I'll give you 30 seconds and I'll come back.
Don't mute George, man.
What I was saying was, I asked about the last 3 games, and what was George's thoughts? Stupidly, obviously.
And George basically
George proceeded to trade Tyler Hero.
Oh, he can't. Oh, we can't trade Tyler now. Honestly, which I mean, the move is still the move, but the move is if they're not going to pay Jimmy to trade Jimmy, like that's still the move. If they're not going to pay him, they got to trade him. Like that's literally the move. That's the move. If they're
trade
not
them all,
but I don't like what I saw somewhere. Somebody said something about basically what George said. Oh no, I think it was Big O on his show, on his radio show when he talked to Ira Winderman, and he was like, "Yo, sell high on Tyler, sell high on Tyler." I still think Jimmy gets you more than Tyler, but like just like my name says, we are still mid, but that can change. Like, I sent the little group chat, the De'Aaron Fox thing earlier today, but it's like I understand why George is saying what he is because of the fact that these 3 games, yeah, it was nice. It felt good to win those 3 games in a row, but like like my name says, we're still mid. Like if we come back to this in 2 weeks and we done lost 3 in a row, we're gonna be right back where we were before these 3 games.
I love Coach Lewis, man. I love you. That is the actual definition. Look, I'll take a radical approach, but that is my opinion. That is my opinion. Are we going to keep traveling down the path of this build, right? Where we can do this for another 4 or 5 years after Jimmy's gone. Do you know what I mean? We can keep going with this core of Bam and Tyler.
And my last point to what George is saying, because Deem said something about that's going to set the franchise back. Like we're stuck to the point right now where 9 times out of 10, whatever the next move is going to set us back no matter what.
Can I say something?
If we hold up, sometimes you got to take a step back to, in the long run, take a few steps forward. They traded Shaq. They traded for Sean Marion, ended up with Jermaine O'Neal, had a few little cute years. And then, so we took steps back, and it ended up with LeBron, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade, and 1-2 championships in a row. Like, sometimes you got to take steps back.
That's different.
But go ahead, Dean.
Now, I'm not going to go that far back because I think that right there with the moving the Shaq thing, and that was different. Shaq was up there in age. I don't want to get too much into it, and I don't want to get too much.
Jimmy's up there in age.
Yeah, but Jimmy is still the best player on the team. Shaq wasn't the best player on the team then.
Bam is the best player on the team. Bam is the best player on the team.
It's Tyler and Bam. They jumped Jimmy. Jimmy can show it for a few games or for moments, but it's Tyler. one of them two, Tyler or
It
Jimmy.
goes Bam,
This year,
Jimmy,
no,
then Tyler.
this season, Tyler has been hands down the best player on the team this year. And these 23, 24 games, whatever it is, Tyler's been the best player.
If you take Bam and Adebayo out and replace him with Thomas Bryant, we are 3-20 something right now.
Bro, you
If
just
you
named the worst
replace-
player on the team.
Yeah. But if you replace Tyler Hero with the equivalent to like, say again.
Deem said a cuss word. Deem said a cuss word.
I said 2 before, and I think Joel's going to kill me.
Oh Lord.
It's my first show back, and he does not like that. But if you replace Tyler Hero with the equivalent on this roster to Thomas Bryant,
Yeah,
like
listen.
I'm talking about, imagine like the worst shooting guard that we've seen in the last 15, 20 years on the Heat. Like, I'm trying to think of who that'd be. Avery Bradley when he was. If you put Avery Bradley on this team instead of Tyler Hero, we are still splitting the season.
Yeah.
Bam does so much more
Remember
than people.
those-
Forget the stat sheet. Bam's defensive presence in the paint has won us the game against the Cavaliers. That won us the game. It was the most intrusive.
Did you
thought
not
I
see
had.
what number 14 was doing out there versus the Cavs?
Yeah, I saw what he was doing, and I was like, oh my God, Portland would feel bad for him that they didn't get him. I also felt like that's just boosted his trade value up a little bit more. I want to mortgage the franchise for half a season, because when we hit free agency, if we can hit it with money, not this one, I'm talking about in 2026 when we also have our draft pick as well, because we don't have a 2025 pick. We also don't have a 2027 pick either.
Who cares about those picks right now?
I care because
Why?
I want to build a
Yo,
successful
remember,
long build.
all right, let me ask you this. Remember that year? Y'all all know where I'm from, where I grew up or whatever. Remember that
Really?
year? What year was that? What year Markelle Fultz got drafted? 27? Was it 2017?
2017.
All right. So I have a lot of people that's Sixers fans. So I remember when they drafted Markelle Fultz, and they all used to make fun of me saying, yo, your team is stuck in the mud. Y'all going to be the middle of the pack team forever. We got a future. We're going to go to more finals than y'all. Yo, y'all remember when we was going 41-41, like back-to-back years, right? My fault. Listen, George got me riled up a little bit, man. I can't believe I'm defending Tyler Hero here. I swear to God, I can't believe it. But, bro, we have been, and I hate to say, I don't even want to say this, but we have been to, 2 final appearances in the last, 4 or 5 years, whatever it is. I agree that we are a middle of the pack team. Like, I agree with that. But at the same time, I also agree that this team could possibly lead to another finals run that they made. Now, if we were to go ahead and trade Tyler Hero, how he's been playing right now, and we go get Andrew freaking Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga, that is going to set the franchise back for years.
That's the Jimmy trade. You don't.
No, that's the Jimmy trade.
That's not a good deal at all for Miami.
I would trade him for Jalen. I would trade Jimmy for Jalen Green right now.
George, let me finish.
All right.
You just said how bad that Duncan contract was. The Andrew Wiggins contract is worse. Golden State cannot get off that contract. That contract is worse than Duncan Robinson contract. And you think they're going to attach a first? I mean, they got to attach a first round pick to that contract. That's how bad it is. That's a horrible contract. There's no way.
It is a bad deal. But it's also only 28 million. It's only also like an average of 28 million a year. Jimmy wants 60. You do know that, right? You know Jimmy wants 60 million, right?
Would you rather pay Jimmy 60 or would you rather pay Andrew Wiggins?
Yeah, if I'm trying to win now, I'm taking Jimmy.
Okay, Miami wants to win now. So why would we go and not pay Jimmy 60? I mean,
are you saying that this team at a peak of its power can go up against the Boston Celtics with Porzingis,
right now,
with White, with Brown, with Tatum, with Peyton averaging 18 points a game or 16 points a game off the bench? We don't have
that. Right now, no, but we have seen them beat that same Boston team. We have seen them beat that Boston team.
That Boston,
make a transaction.
This Boston team, no, not this.
All right, you got a point. You're right. This Boston team is different from the ones Miami had beaten. But I mean, I think we can put up a fight against Boston, but I don't think we're better than Boston now. But come on, man, we're not going to sit here and say we'd rather pay Andrew Wiggins $28 million, and then you also got to pay Jonathan Kuminga. Are we really going to want to pay them over Jimmy Butler? Let's be honest.
No,
Can
but
we be
that's the
honest?
thing.
Are you willing to pay both of them over Jimmy Butler?
It's not about that though. It's about what we can do with those contracts when the time comes. Because when Anthony Edwards gets sick of the Timberwolves,
ding, ding, ding,
Bro,
ding.
we're making a lot of hype.
He's already
Listen, yo, we've been doing this for 4 years. We've been hyped. Is a chance we get Dame. Is a chance if Giannis hops out, we can get Giannis. Is a chance. I just put this in a group chat. Miami Heat fans have become the Lakers and Knicks fans, where every year we're going to get this guy. It's a chance we get this guy. We're not going to do that. We can't do that.
So what are we going to do?
Hold up. We can't do that with where we're at now. We have to rebuild the asset base. So the way to rebuild the asset base right now would be to trade Jimmy Butler. That's the way you do it. Because all
right, now I'm going to listen to all of this jive for the last 20 minutes. Let me add some to the conversation.
You go ahead, Kay. You go ahead.
The way that I don't like the way that y'all approach the conversation of basketball. It seems like y'all like transactions more than y'all like basketball. That's the first thing. Second of all, you don't have to rebuild the asset base for a guy that want to come there. And Edwards loves Spo. And Edwards going to be a guy that wants to come to the Miami Heat. You got Jimmy Butler for Josh Richardson. Do we all forget that?
No. That was a sign and trade in free agency. I'm thinking about in regards. Hold up. Let me look up Ant-Man's contract. Hold on. I got my laptop.
Ant can say, hey, I want out. Trade me or I'm not re-upping.
Dame
you don't think they're going to honor? You don't think they're going to honor Ant?
Do you know where he went? Dame did the same thing. Do you know where he went? Not to the Heat.
Dame got how many years left on his contract? Like, don't argue me with this illogical stuff. Like, yo, if you're gonna come on the show that I host, you gotta be logical. That's a rule from now on. If you're gonna come on the show I host, you gotta be logical. I don't want none of this trade machine, phantasmic, because I can't deal with that.
Anthony Edwards goes through 28, 29. So he basically in the same situation Dame was. He just re-upped. He got a whole bunch of money.
How old is Anthony Edwards?
29.
How old is Anthony Edwards?
He's 23 right now.
So that means he'll be 25 when he has full control. Dame was 31.
He's 20. He'll be 27.
Bro, if he's 20, how old you say he was?
He's 23.
He's 23 now, right? And 20, and at the end of 28 is his last year, right?
28, 29. It says age 27.
It's his last year, right?
He'll be 26.
55. I'm looking.
No, I'm just asking you. I'm just answer the question. That's his last year, right?
Yep, 28, 29.
Right. So what you're saying is trade Jimmy Butler, or you guys are a proponent of trading guys before you lose them for nothing, right?
Yes.
So what you're telling me is that Minnesota gonna lose him for nothing, meaning we're gonna have to wait all the way till his deal up, but yet we should trade. Like, this is the logic I be talking about. Y'all can't have it both ways. If he's gonna want to be out, he's gonna want to be out when he's 25, 26. That's number one. George, you sound silly. You don't set yourself up if you the Miami Heat to win. You try to win now. How long you been a fan of this team?
13, 14 years?
All right, then. Well, look back in your 13 and 14 years and analyze how they've done it. That's not how they've done it. And if you want
we did rebuild, no matter what they say, we did rebuild.
Pelicans. Okay. Mr. Alex.
What's up, dog?
You cannot trade Jimmy Butler because although regular season wise, Tyler Hero has been the best player. When the nuts hit the bolts, when the meat meets the grinder, when the mayo needs to get put on the sandwich, when you need some dip on your chip, who getting the rock?
But that's the thing.
Who getting the rock, Alex?
It's this build is over.
Come on. No, I mean, see, but that's that phantasmic, irrational. I'm just gonna go to that whenever I can't answer the question.
No, we've had a good run, like you said.
Have we had a good run with this Tyler Hero? I've been telling y'all for a year and a half,
But
hey, maybe Jimmy isn't deferring. Maybe Jimmy knows something we don't. Maybe Jimmy has seen something we haven't. Maybe he saw this dude. Maybe we would have saw it last year had he not had to sit out 40 games. And then when he did come back, he playing with a half a Bam and a non-existent Jimmy Butler because Josh Hart top-ketoed his ankle 2 years ago. Like, perhaps the guy that's coming out and showing us all 45 inches of his vert every time he dunked the ball and saying, hey, I'm healthy. Hey, you see this 1-4. Hey, Bam, make your shots. Hey, this is what I've been trying to invoke. Like, I don't understand how we see a team developing something and we're in such a rush to tear it down to satisfy our urge to play Trade Machine GM.
What rush, though? It's been 5 years.
Has it been 5 years with this version of Tyler?
Bro, this version of Tyler,
George.
This version of Tyler is the same version of Tyler as last year.
That's a flat out lie. Okay, so if you're not going to talk with logic, you can't go. That's a lie. This ain't the same Tyler.
All right, so this is my perspective on it. My perspective is, what are we trying to do? That's what I want to know. If we're trying to win
a championship,
if that's what we're all in to do, then there has to be another move. And the move, if we're going for it, the move isn't to trade Jimmy. Okay, well, I'll say that. If we are going for it.
Now let's be fair, Alex. I'm gonna let you talk, but ain't the Heat always trying to win?
They always are trying to win.
And we may not agree with the logic. We may not agree with the logic, but we know that the Heat are always trying to win, right?
They'll always give them. They'll wait. They don't let go of the rope. They don't let go of the rope.
And that's all I be saying. Come into this space with that mindset. Like, because I think see, look at George. He willingly comes into the space with the mindset of chaos, and that bothers me.
I love it, man.
I've never seen chaos.
Like, because I can't deal. Like, yo, what the f are we talking about?
Okay, you're saying things like this version of Tyler Hero. He's shooting 3% better from the field, 3% better from three, and he's getting 3 points more a game. So are you telling me that you're willing to go into the postseason with a guy who's averaging 14.2 points a game in the playoffs, a guy that's notoriously not a good playoff player, but you're willing to mortgage?
You mean the guy that teams in the last 3 games have shown you that they have to game plan for so they can't double team Jimmy Butler? You mean the guy that teams have shown you they now have to throw 3 guys at him and turn their whole defense to him, allowing Jimmy Butler to get 10 foot for the rim before they realize, oh, now we got to double Jimmy Butler, but you can't because you're throwing your whole defensive attention at Tyler Hero. That guy? Like, no, we've never seen that guy, George, and I'm not going to sit here.
I can't wait to come back on the show in 2 weeks. I can't wait to come back on the show in 2 weeks, and we have a whole different narrative going.
And if that happens, we can. But I'm sick of you hypothesizing about stuff that hasn't happened.
No, I work off probability, though. Probability is my best friend. Because the chances are he either one gets
So you're hoping for failure?
No. I'm preparing myself for the worst. I've lived through. Okay,
well, if you are, though, we got 20 games, which is a quarter of a season, that says the worst ain't gonna happen.
The worst, the 20 games.
That's the same. That's the same.
The 20 games.
If it was 5 games, I got a point. If you got a point. If it was 10 games, and if it was 15 games, he having a good stretch. He's been this every night.
And
no, he hasn't. No, he has not. He has not.
But he probably had like 2 bad games this season.
This season, Tyler has been close to what he's showing. But like I said, this depends on what we're trying to do. Are we good enough to compete with Boston? No. Obviously, we showed that. I mean, they were somewhat hobbled or whatever. We wouldn't have any fear of the Cavs in the series. But like the bar is Boston. We're not reaching the bar. So, do we make a move to go all in to try and get to the bar? Or do we say, you know what, we ain't going to worry about it right now. Let's try and rebuild the asset pool so that the next time a superstar comes open, that we can actually put in a bid for them and not be looked at like why the heck are y'all trying? Y'all ain't got enough people.
Okay, so
But
look, I had a whole agenda. Oh, my bad. I ain't mean to cut you off. Was you good?
I'm like I said, I'm all for it. If we're really gung ho on we going to get it, we really trying to go get it, then like I mean, there's another move that has to be made. We got to bring more help because of the fact that I don't think when it come down to it that number 22 at 35 years old, if he need to go in that put on that superhero cape, that cape ain't gonna be there every single time anymore. It used to be there. It was there. If we had this Tyler in 2023, if we had this Tyler in 2022, I think we win the championship. But we didn't. So like I said, we don't have the same Jimmy from those years before. That's what makes the difference to me. Which is why I say if you're not gonna pay him, trade him. But I freaking love Jimmy Butler. He's brought us great moments. Do I want to trade him? No, I don't want to trade him. But
you just don't want to lose him.
That's what I do it. Yeah, I would.
Can we just say something right now? Jimmy Butler needs the Miami Heat more than the Miami Heat need Jimmy Butler. That is the case in point. That is case in point number one, and that's it. If Jimmy thinks he's going to go on the open market and go get another $50 million deal from somewhere else, he is lying to himself. He is lying to himself.
I don't think he could. Okay, now two things, and I'm gonna say I had all kind of That's what I was about to say. I had all kind of like structure and strategy to the show, or whatever. But obviously, like I said, when George came on, that kind of flew out the window. And we're gonna wrap it up in a second because I ain't got all night to deal with this calamity. But what I will, we're gonna give everybody a chance to, kind of sew a bow. I'm gonna kind of respond to things though. I see what you're saying, George, and you're not necessarily wrong. But in my perspective, I think that I'm gonna hit it like this. When you said that the Miami Heat long-term sustainability, my theory for the Miami Heat is they never tear it down. They always build in phases. Like Bam is the middle phase, Tyler is the younger phase right now, and Jimmy, of course, is the older phase. Like even if you look at it, when they had Dwayne Wade, he was supposed to be the younger phase, and then you got Lamar and all of them the middle phase, and then you got an older phase if I got to go out and get a guy. But then in the second year, you realize, hold up, wait a minute, D-Wade's enough to take us there now. Let me go get somebody to be his older phase, and I can fill all that middle phase stuff in. James Posey, Gary Payton, all of that stuff. Even though they're vets, there's still more middle phase stuff. So the way the Heat do it is in phases. So for me, it's like the long-term sustainability is, okay, now when Jimmy leaves, we got Bam, who's on his older phase, 28-ish, and we got Tyler as then the middle phase, which is that 24-ish to whatever. Then we got to go either find a young guy who we can come up that we can trust to be the younger phase, or we got to find an older guy that's better than Bam to plug in at that older phase, or an equivalent guy to be that middle phase. Like it's not tearing it down. The Heat have never done it that way, and they'll never do it that way. Because being competitive is more important than ping pong balls or being Sam Presti. Point blank, period.
That is the most true thing that you've said. They won't tear it down. They will most likely not do what we're talking about. But this show isn't about what are they going to do next. This is what should they do next.
They shouldn't tear it down.
Yeah,
like they become one of George. They become one of the most. And I had somebody earlier tell me, and I hate this with a passion. I've had somebody tell me earlier that I'm being influenced by the Heat. I got the Heat culture, something. I'm being brainwashed by the Heat culture. Like, bro, they're one of the youngest franchises in the NBA and one of the most winningest. What else do we need? How are we questioning their methods? How?
Because it's been very bad. Because their methods have not led to winning since LeBron
They're
James
one
was
of the youngest
uniform.
franchises in the NBA with the most titles. What you mean it ain't led to winning? Like, are you hearing what I'm saying?
Because I am young now, and I want to make sure that my team does enough winning when I am this age now. Not when I'm 40, not when I'm 50.
Alex, what you got? Because George ain't making no sense right now. Alex, what you got? What's your closing thoughts? Because George is saying stuff. Come back next week, George, when we do this again and got more time.
Go to Deem first. Go to Deem. I want to hear what Deem said.
What you got, Deem? Closing remarks on it all, man.
I don't even know what the question was. I was tuned in. The
question is just closing remarks on the whole spiel. Because like I said, the structure got lost once George came in and made a trade for Jonathan Kuminga, 2 first-round picks, and Andrew Wiggins.
Yo, listen. This is what I say, right, on the closing remarks.
And the caucus will run TMZ. I mean,
I
what is
love-
he talking about,
I,
man?
I,
Go
I
ahead.
love when George. I love when George joined the show, man.
George's
It's always-
sole goal.
yeah.
is
His
to,
so
like-
his when he come in, his
It's
sole
just
goal
fun.
is to just piss K off. Like that. Well, if you piss K off, George had a successful day, bro. That's why I love when George comes. I just become like I just watch. Like it's like I love it, man. But I don't even know what I don't even know, man.
I'll put words in your mouth,
ahead.
Deem.
Go ahead.
Deem agrees with Coach Lewis and I. It's time. Let's not get cold feet. Let's win in 2 years' time. Let's get what we lost back. Look at the OKC Thunder. Let's do what they've done. Let's fire Pat Riley. Thank God. Finish off his tenure here on a high, getting knocked out of the first round. That's exactly where we're
retire
headed.
in like 2 years, man.
Forget 2 years. He's doing victory laps now. The guy's talking about getting a statue. He's not finishing 2 years. He's finishing this year. He's done. He's done. That's it.
That's a different show, but I do think there is something to that. Alex,
Yeah,
what you got?
I think he's done in 2 years.
Hey man, like I said, sorry I was late, but great 3 games in a row. It's always fun to get W's, but
You and Alex, you and George ruined that. We ain't talking about the 3 games. Wrap a
What you
bow
mean?
on
I
this.
didn't even get-
Like,
I
how
barely
you
got to
feeling?
talk about
What's
the
your
3 games.
outcome on the season? Are we trading it for tomorrow, or are we trying to win today?
Yo, you gotta try to win today, man. Like
So
this
when-
is not no team you just
They're
blowing
not
it up.
good enough. We're not good enough, and that's that's okay.
I agree, but
But-
I think it's a move out there to be made.
Right, and that's
Without
what I'm
trading
saying. Like,
Jimmy, without
I
trading
think that these
Tyler.
guys believe in themselves. And what you said, Dean, if anybody has competed with the ball, look, the Boston Celtics shoot a ton of threes and they make them. They got a ton of talent. The Boston Celtics should win. They have 8 dudes that would start on any other team. They should win. But what I'm telling you is in through they ain't just get like that. Are people forgetting they've been had Malcolm Brogdon along with the rest of the stuff they got that was filling in Derek White. They had another guy that was coming off the bench in that Drew Holiday role. Like, they've always had more talent, but the team like the Miami Heat has went in and at worst been even though I want to say we probably beat them a little more. But I get what you're saying. There is a move out there to be made. I'm sure the Miami Heat will try. We're all not talking about the elephant in the room, but they're going to see what they can get for 2. And if there's an upgrade out there to be made, I'm sure they will. But if not, and if I can continue to get this same level of production from Tyler Hero, which I believe they will, roll the ball out, dog. Roll it out.
I mean, well,
I
we
can't
know-
wait to attack Terry
Because to be fair, for the last 4 years or
and a
so,
second round
I've had
pick.
to hear the same thing throughout the season, only for y'all to be right on the train when they made that run.
well, I mean, I was gonna say, when did
Their
I?
toes are broke. There ain't going to be no more run.
I said, when did I join the pod? Last year.
Last year.
It's like we had a good. Yeah, last year we was mid too. We just
Hold on, Alex, you weren't on here? You weren't on here before that?
No,
Nah,
he was here last year.
Oh, okay. Well, I tell you what. Before you was here, there were a lot of people that sounded like you. And then as soon as we started to make a run, they the first ones ready to do a pod talking about I always believed in them.
oh no,
I'm looking at your box, George.
I'll tell the truth. I thought we was gonna get when we went to the finals versus Denver. I thought we was getting swept by the Bucks. But I mean, hey, we turned it up. Jimmy turned into Michael Jordan, and we started making threes that we had been missing all year. So it's totally different animal.
Yo, that was a great playoff run.
But
was my
the Miami
favorite
Heat
playoff
team, they're among the best 3. Like, everything you said. So basically, you're Alex, and I think we can. So you're saying it's just simply that Jimmy ain't got that in him no more.
Yes. I think like, so what Draymond, I remember talked about, there's like 82 game players and 16 game players. Jimmy Butler's a 16 game player. Jimmy Butler at this point might be out of 16. You need to win 16. Jimmy might be 8 to 10 right now. That's what I think. He's 8 to 10. He's 8 to 10. And that ain't 16. And the rest of what we got isn't enough to get you
To go get you the extra 4 to 6 that you're gonna need.
Yeah, that's what I think. We don't have enough. But like I said, if we're
That's
making
fair.
Yeah.
I can do fair.
that's all I'm trying to say, dog. I want the Heat to win. That's all I want. All I want is us to win every single championship. I know that's not real, but that's what I want. I want to win every single year. I hate losing. I want to win every single
That's a
year.
fact. I think
So
we all
whatever-
do. I think George just enjoyed seeing us anguish over his takes along the way. George, you want to say anything before we get off the line here?
Yeah, I got a lot to say, but I'm gonna compress it.
Please do. Please do.
Okay, first things first. I love winning. I love winning more than probably both you and Deem, besides Coach Lewis, because Coach Lewis believes in winning because he knows the path. I am sick and tired of mediocrity. I am sick and tired of getting my hopes destroyed and my dreams crushed by this Miami Heat build. I'm tired. I'm tired of it. We will regress to the mean because that's what math is. We will regress back to the way we were because this isn't a stepping stone. This is not sustainable. You are not going to get Duncan Robinson 22-point games for every game in the season. You are not going to get mediocre Highsmith. You're going to get less than mediocre Highsmith most of the time because he's not a good player. He is not a good player. We have no playmaker on the team that's worth a damn besides Bam and Adebayo. We have no rim protection. When Bam goes off the floor, Kalel, guess where he's right now? Dominating in the G League. Do you know who else is in there? Do you know who else is in the G League right now? A guy named Isaiah Stevens, who is a real point guard, a facilitating ball-playing point guard. He's my next Jamari Bouye. He's my next project.
Okay, cool. Now let's on the G League. More on wrapping it up.
I honestly believe that at the height of Tyler Hero's power now, this is the most he's going to be. This is the best he's going to be. If the deal comes across my table tomorrow for 2 first-round picks for Tyler Hero, I am taking 2 first-round picks for Tyler Hero.
Yo,
I
you
don't
say
care.
you love winning, George, but that's not winning.
Because
That's not winning.
I'm a man. I am man enough to
You
say I
wanna
can
win in
deal with
5
6 months of.
years?
Which is not guaranteed.
I
by the way.
would rather
The
lose.
Sixers still
for
going
6
through the
months.
process.
I will lose for 6
They will
months
go through
and
the
win
process
for 2.
since I was in the 9th grade.
And he's from Philly, George. He's from Philly.
About what? What is being from Philly got to do with it?
I'm just messing with you, man. It's
I'm
just he's
from-
right there with the process. So it's like you want us to go through the
Process-
process.
I am Marina.
Ninth grade,
I am
man.
from I am Marina.
When the process don't work. Like you can land
know who
an
else was
all-world
there?
player and it's still not guaranteed to work. Hey, you can land a couple of all-world players and you can hit on all your rookies. You can hit on a guy like Max, and you can hit on a guy like McCain. You can hit on a guy like PG. You can hit on a guy like Embiid. I mean, and it's still not guaranteed to work because even this year, it's not going to work.
George, I don't think you love winning as much as you say you do because that's
No,
not
he
what
loved
that-
trades. He loved
Yeah.
transactions and trades. But that's okay,
You see
George.
my
'cause we
I
kinda
traded
love
away
you.
Jokic in my fantasy league the other day. I also then got Anthony Davis and flipped him for Embiid. I then flipped Dame, Donovan Mitchell, and
That's
DeRozan for
horrible because
Luka
he
and
don't
Mark
play like
Williams.
4 games all year.
Okay,
I
dope,
made-
guys. So, listen, we thank you for lending your ear to this sound. We got our boy Dean back in the building. Round of applause. We got Alex in the building. Of course, George made an appearance to cause calamity.
Shout out to
I've been
George.
Kay, and this has been the Biscayne Breakdown. Hit the button, George. I'm ready to go.
Now I pull up on the scene, dead fresh and